morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Wanted to apologize again for yesterday's fiasco of an episode. We started talking about procrastination yesterday. Let's finish it, and this time let's hopefully have a little bit more wrap-up thought. Now, I noticed, though, that main road 355 up here is totally backed up, so hopefully that won't cause any issues. But we're going to plow forward regardless. So procrastination can be an issue when it comes to punctuality. What does it take to actually be on time? Well, it's really easy. You just have to buffer your time. You have to leave extra early. You have to assume that if it's going to take an hour to get somewhere, that you need to leave an hour and a half early. That'll get you there probably half hour, maybe even 45 minutes earlier than when you need to be. Is that going to be okay? If it is, great. Get there extra early and just be early. If it's not, then look for something to do around there that can be useful. If it's just you and it's like a sales call of some kind, then have some work that you can do in your car. Or look for a coffee shop that you can pull over and do some work there. If you've got your family with you, then look for something that they can do near the area, all of you together. If it's, a rough trip, find a playground or something. Try and aim to have the kids asleep in the car, and then you can just kind of do a few laps for a little while. Go around, do a little bit of sightseeing. But basically you want to put yourself so that you're only a few minutes away from your destination, and you're able to just show up. And even then, you still want to be nice and early. Now, the big trouble is, especially when you have kids, getting out the door. Again, plan to leave extra early. And this is where you got to kind of time yourself. Figure out where your problem spots are. You should, like an hour before you actually need to leave, you should have clothes ready, shoes ready, bags packed, everything ready to go. There shouldn't be a last minute scramble. Oh, we need a bottle of water. Oh, we need to get snacks. Oh, where are your shoes? I can't find my shoes. No. An hour before you need to walk out the door, say, all right, every child needs to have everything that they need ready to go by the door. Your shoes, socks. If you need to change your clothes, change your clothes somewhere where you know where it is. Your jacket and anything that you need to bring. If you need to bring a book with you in the car, if you need to bring a bottle of water, whatever it may be. Mom and Dad need to have bags packed and ready to go. And then it needs to be this like mental checklist. Okay, so wallet, keys, mobile phone, I'm good. I have everything I need on me. Shoes, socks, I'm good. What else did I need to bring? So I needed to bring the bag of stuff to drop off at the place, and I needed to bring the paperwork to give to the dude, and then I needed to bring the tickets so that we can get into the place. Okay, good. Set. I got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. Okay, good. So kids have everything. So then you're supposed to walk out the door at, say, 12:45. Then, hopefully, at 12:35, you can say to everybody, all right, let's get wrapped up and ready to go, because you know it's going to take 5 minutes for them to get all their stuff together. So they have to turn off what they're doing. 5 minutes later, they have to get everything together, and then at the appropriate time, 12:45, they're actually walking out the door. So there's a big difference, I think, with kids between the time you have to walk out the door and the time you need to be in the car driving away. Because the target time for in the car driving away is really the target time you need to set. Target time for walking out the door, that can be so muddled because you think, oh, well, it's right there. The door is right there. All I have to do is put my shoes on. But then you forget about all those other incidental things you need to do, like A, finding the shoes, but then also B, getting the socks to put on under the shoes. C, arguing with the youngest child about how he wants to wear these shoes, which are completely inappropriate, so you can't do that. So your target time should really be in the car driving away, not out the door. That'll help you back things up a little bit better. And even if you don't have kids, you still have to have this mental checklist, and all right, so if we need to be there driving away from the house at 12:45, and that's a good fulcrum point too, because you know how long it's going to take you to actually be on the road. Well, that'll help you determine what that target time is for when I need to be driving away from the house. So that point established, now you can back up to that point. So that gives you something a little more solid, a little less nebulous. There's no, we'll make up time on the road, which can work, and other times not, can get you a ticket, can get you in an accident. So, as far as being at home goes, that's what's going to help you with punctuality more than anything else. Now, the biggest argument against this is that, well, that wastes a lot of time. True. I've read an article that people who are chronically late are more productive and happier. And that is entirely possible. I won't say it's absolutely true, but it is entirely possible because it takes a lot of effort to make sure that you're there on time. It takes a lot of effort, and then in addition to that, you could be working, I'm in the middle of a project right now. If I spend another 5-10 minutes working on this project, I'll be square, but if I spend 5 or 10 minutes working on this project and I'm done with it then I run the risk of being late to my meeting. All right. So that's a cost-benefit analysis. And I'm with you there. And you got to try and be efficient, because if you are doing your job, you have to be efficient. You have X number of things to do. And if you've got to be somewhere and you wind up being there half hour early and you don't have something productive that you can fill your time up with, even if you do, are you in a position where you're able to do it as productively as possible? That half hour spent at your desk would probably be a lot more productive than that half hour spent in a car, at a coffee shop, on the phone instead of on your computer, whatever. You know what I mean? So I understand the argument against, not against punctuality, but against this extreme measures to achieve perfect punctuality. That makes sense to me. So it's a cost-benefit analysis. But the thing I don't understand is when people say that they're not able to be early. Like, there's absolutely no reason why you can't be early. So let's talk about this very briefly when it comes to being... that's not a right turning lane, but it doesn't matter to me. Let's talk about this very briefly when it comes to work. So punctuality at work. For you to get to the office on time, if you're in one of those offices where it's absolutely imperative that you be there on time, which I've worked in those offices before, then two things going on here. Number one, if you can get in there early, just get in there early. If you need to be there at 8:30, but the doors open up at 7:30, aim to be there at 7:30. Especially in offices now where everybody has access to a computer. I mean, that can be your time that you're just futzing around. That can be your warm-up time, you know? And if you're consistently early, then it should be no problem to be leaving on time consistently. That, to me, that's much more important. You know, some people don't like to work that way. Well, that's fine. But it's not difficult to make sure that you're consistently early. You can blame traffic on it. Traffic's only made me late 2-3 times. Because out of 365 days, in 10-15 years of working consistently, the only time traffic actually affects me is when I happen to be running late already, and then traffic gives me the double whammy. When I get the double whammy, then yeah, I'm late. But it's how often you actually get the double whammy. Typically, it's either you overslept, but traffic is fine, or traffic is bad, but you left on time. If you allow yourself to be tripped up by one little thing, then that's what's going to be your downfall fairly often. And it is going to be hard for you to be on time. I don't see any reason why you can't be on time consistently. Now, I talked yesterday a little bit about these meetings we used to have where they started holding the meetings at 8:15, but then no one would actually arrive at the meeting. Not even the meeting organizers, not the boss, not the managers, nothing. It would just be me. I'd be sitting at the desk. Hey, come on, meeting, right? No, it's not till 8:30. You told me 8:15. I told you 8:15 because these guys are going to be late. Okay, so now I'm getting punished because these guys are consistently late. How do you handle that? Because if they were to just say it's at 8:30, then everyone's running late. These guys are punishing us anyway. But are you going to over-punish somebody who's just a little late to a meeting? It's hard to tell. And then, you know, if you're going to over-punish everybody for being late to a meeting, what happens when something really important, it is utterly imperative that you be here by this particular time? This is important. Then what happens when they're late there? Like, how do you enforce that? So there should only be those, I think, there should be these pick and choose moments of this is when it's important that you be here on time. And they should be rare. The rest of the time it needs to be, you need to be here, and if you're not here, we're starting without you. And if we start without you, then it's your loss. And if somebody's consistently late, then you'd have to decide, again, cost-benefit analysis. Is this better for us with them being late the way they are? Hard to say. But in any event, I hope you're on time today. I hope you have